as several of you have mentioned, China has produced over 30 million vehicles in the last year, and it is confronting a severe domestic demand shortfall. And rather than allowing market forces to correct the imbalance, the Chinese Communist Party has relied on state subsidies, non-market pricing, and export pressure to push excess vehicles and components into foreign markets as a release valve for its own economic instability. And so, alongside our chair, I represent Michigan, the heart of American auto manufacturing, where our auto industry competes on safety, quality, and innovation, not on predatory pricing or government-directed overproduction. And this is exactly why I introduced bold legislation called the No Chinese Cars Act to protect Michigan auto workers from Chinese companies who want to engage in bad faith trade practices and prevent the circumvention of some of the rules that we have from USMCA into our market. And so look, we're seeing a disturbing parallel trend as Chinese overcapacity floods global auto supply chains, counterfeit aftermarket components, including airbags and inflators that have sometimes even led to American deaths, are entering the U.S. through opaque import routes, online marketplaces, and informal distribution networks. It's concerning because today's vehicles are no longer just physical products, but connected systems carrying software, data, and safety-critical technologies that can embed long-term risk into our economy and our infrastructure. Once installed, these parts are nearly impossible to trace, undermining recalls, owner notification, and, of course, public safety. And it is a real delight to have my friend Peter Ludwig here from Applied Intuition and your great team. We boast that Applied Intuition is in my district, in Michigan's 11th district of Royal Oak. I still have the photo that you nicely gave me of the ribbon cutting, and we celebrate your success. But I'm curious for the panel, how should Congress understand the connection between China's state-driven overproduction, the pressure to gain access to the U.S. vehicle market, and particularly, Peter, for the space that you're in, because with the auto industry and AI and the ones and zeros, there's traceability, there's supply chain visibility. The reason you and I know each other is because I have visited hundreds of automotive supplier companies in my district throughout Michigan. We want to compete and we want to win, so.
Thank you for the question, Congresswoman. Referencing my earlier statements as well, the key thing is recognition that the Chinese auto industry is structurally incentivized to dominate rather than to profit. And in that quest of domination, this means prices that are extremely low. And I do think that from our American perspective, we have to look at really costs and equalizing costs to ensure that our American companies can be competitive.
Are you getting what you need on that front?
As an engineer, I'm not so deep in that specific topic, but I'm happy to get back to you on that.
Well, we love your engineering and your Michigan-based roots and all you've done, and particularly with the great intersection that exists between your enterprise and the automotive sector and how we want to compete and win. We are in a challenged time. Mich Auto just came out with a great study showing where the American auto industry is right now vis-a-vis our competitors, and it's real. It's a real competition. Our auto executives are certainly waking up every day with the ferocity of China being the largest exporter of vehicles in the world. We want to continue to dig on these parts, components questions. Glad to hear about the bipartisan legislation, and I want to continue to push for my legislation, the No Chinese Cars Act, to make its way into something like the USMCA going forward. So With that, Mr. Chair, thank you again for the very elucidating and important panel. I'll yield back.
Thank you. And Representative Johnson.